Ready to pack your bags for a new life in Spain? Discover what it's like to live here and what mistakes to avoid.
You should never try to skip lunch to save time. People will kill you,
We interviewed expats in Spain, and they're all loving it. But what's their secret?
The most important thing is you should just realize if you get your job situation fixed, everything else is easy. That's the hardest part.
We're InterNations, the largest community for people who live and work abroad worldwide. Let's dive in so you can decide if moving to Spain is the right choice for you. Did you know that 84% of expats say they're happy in Spain? And it ranks 4th out of 53 destinations according to our latest Expat Insider survey. If you're thinking the pleasant climate is one reason for this, you're not wrong.
Of course, I'm from Ireland, so of course I will say the weather, always a huge plus.
Spain also ranks higher than any other destination in one key area. It's first for quality of life.
It seems they spend more of their time outside, together with other people. So I think there's a lot to be learned. Like the south of Europe in general, I think, knows how to live.
People enjoy life much more. It's very important to meet with people and to eat together and to take time. It's never a rush. It's never, well, let's have lunch in half an hour and keep on working. No.
No matter where you live, there are lots of ways to spend your free time.
I think one of the best things of Madrid as well is the cultural activities. There's a lot of museums, concerts, everything. It's a very lively city.
You can go out, you can walk, you can be in the water, you can do so many different things. You can club all night, you can do yoga. Everything is here. I mean, it's just one of the greatest places that I've ever been.
It's also easy to get around.
I like the fast trains in Spain. There are, imagine from Madrid. I always talk about Madrid because Madrid's like in the city, it's right in the middle of the country. And it's more than 600 kilometers to Barcelona, and the train takes 2.5 hours. And it's the same to Seville.
Another reason Spain stands out, it ranks 3rd for healthcare out of 53 destinations.
I think in the public healthcare system we had the best doctors. But also these doctors work in a private healthcare system, so
you have to understand what you pay is what you get. So the doctors that we have in the public system are very good, but there's a lot of demand, so of course the waiting times are longer. So if you can't pay for a private doctor, obviously you're gonna get a faster answer. So both are good.
Safety is not an issue in general, with one caveat, especially in the bigger cities.
Well, actually, it's safe in the sense of like it's not dangerous, but there's a lot of pickpocketing. Yeah.
I have been robbed. I have been robbed twice this year. So don't do this. Go with your mobile phone here because in 3 seconds.
Overall, though, it's a very welcoming place.
People are very social. You meet people, you talk a lot of people, so you feel welcome when you come to Spain.
As amazing as Spain is, there are also downsides. We're here to prepare you for those.
The one thing that comes to mind is littering. I feel like we use triple the amount of plastic packaging than we would in Germany. A lot of things don't get sold in any like glass packaging or something. It's just always, everything comes in plastic. Most juices, water bottles, all comes in plastic. Very little alternatives there, which I find is a bit sad.
As for housing, Spain doesn't rank too highly, just 24th in our Expat Insider survey.
Yes, it's quite difficult, just because there is a lot of demand. I think if you were to look for a house, first of all, I would pick a temporary space like for 3 months and then see the places in person.
People have to keep in mind, like I think the most toxic thing for the rental market would be the holiday homes. So people buy something and they block it and that thing is gone, and then they are only here for a few months out of the year.
The key takeaway here, while the cost of living is better than many other countries, housing can still be expensive, depending on where you go.
Housing is a topic that I listen every day in the office. So imagine to pay 2,000 euros for a flat that has only 2 rooms and a toilet. It's massive. So
As far as daily life goes, things work a bit slower than in other countries.
Yeah, it tends to be a bit harder to get what you need from your car mechanic, your doctor and so on. You have to keep asking a little bit. So I feel that's a difference there, but it's not a big deal.
People discuss a lot and they talk a lot about things, and if there's a problem they need to solve, then it's up and down, here and left and right, but sometimes there's just a need to make a decision and to go on.
Bureaucracy is frustrating and time-consuming.
When I moved to Madrid, I have to deal with bureaucracy, and Spanish bureaucracy, it's a no-go. Why? Because if I knew what I know now, I will hire someone that will help me with the whole process.
The language barrier can be an obstacle sometimes.
Without speaking properly Spanish, it's very, very hard to find a job in Spain and to build up relationships.
So now that you've heard about the challenges, here's some advice.
Integrate right away in the Spanish community. Don't be with the expats too much if you want to improve your Spanish.
Try to find someone who helps you with all the bureaucracy and translation and so on. In my opinion, the money that you spend on that is well worth it. You're going to save so much time, and the process is going to be so much smoother if you have a person like that.
In the end, there's really only one key thing you need to enjoy life in Spain.
But so yeah, really the only thing you really have to figure out would be the job situation, because depending on where you come from, the job also ties into your visa probably.
That brings us to one of the biggest downsides, working life and careers.
I must admit, it took me 2 years when I came here to find my first job. That was very frustrating, but finally I've made it.
In our survey, Spain only ranks 27th for working abroad, so it's worth having a solid plan. One option is to go the digital nomad route.
There are digital nomad visas out there that you can, if you have your own salary from your own country, then it's easy for you to get a visa, even if you're not from the EU.
Or try to find a job with a local contract in Spain.
If you're lucky that you can find a job that pays you well enough to live well where you want to go, then that's cool too. But in my opinion, that's the only problem. Like everything else that you need to do is just a formality.
Keep in mind that incomes are not very high here.
The salaries are very low, the average salary. Especially young people, when they've got their first job, they can't make a living. They can't live on their own. So they have to stay at their parents' place until they're 30, 35.
A big plus, though, is the work-life balance.
The work-life balance, it's very good. If one is a student or if one is even working, there is always an appreciation of the family time and the working time, so that is a real pros.
Okay, but no matter how prepared you are, when you move abroad, there are bound to be things that surprise you.
The one thing I know that not many people do is the kissing hello. Because Spanish right away, even you just met them for the first time, they kiss hello.
And did you know? Siestas are not a thing these days, at least in the cities.
Well, there's one cliché that the Spanish people always sleep the siesta. I hardly meet anybody who's time to sleep siesta. So there's few people left. There are still some shops in the city centers that close from 2 to 5, but that's maybe in the villages and the small cities, but all the big cities, it's from 9 to 9.
Football is definitely a big deal, though.
So the real religion of Spain is football. And that is something I wasn't aware to what extent that was the case.
Depending on where you live, you might not need a car.
I think you should definitely not have a car, because the transport in Madrid works great. El metro de Madrid vuela, which means that it goes very fast. And I think a car is an inconvenient, and if you're going to travel somewhere, you can always get the train, that we actually have very good train system in Spain, or get a flight, or get BlaBlaCar, or rent a car. So I don't think it's very necessary.
Driving may be different to what you're used to.
So they are driving dynamically at times and sometimes quite fast. They're not shy to use their horn. But I feel like if you don't know where you're going and you're like slow, or you have to turn in a weird place, like nobody's getting angry.
And finally, get used to dining on Spanish time.
The times are very different. I mean, Spain is becoming earlier lately, especially after COVID. But still, when you want to make a reservation at a restaurant, they ask you, do you want a table for 9 o'clock at night or for 11 o'clock?
If you're still looking for people to enjoy that late night dinner with, here's the good news. Spain does very well compared to other countries when it comes to settling in, ranking 11th. But still, making good friends is not always easy, as expats know. So what can you do? Join an expat community like InterNations.
There's people from every country, and what is common to everyone is that they are very open-minded, and it's very easy to connect.
You'll find events and groups that offer everything from running to board game nights.
Yeah, I like to create this game group because I think that through games people can make friends easier than just in a one-to-one conversation. And I also think that games allow people to forget their day at work and think about something new.
Our hosts will make sure you feel welcome.
Specifically, what I do is make sure newcomers are taken care of. I introduce people. I make sure they're having fun. They're not standing by themselves. I converse with them.
There are many reasons why newcomers love joining our events.
Not just to party. What I like most is actually the conversations and the different point of views. I think that's what I find more exciting.
That's really cool to find both international friends and some local friends that can help you with navigating the new country you live in. And in the end, you'll have this super colorful, interesting friend group. It's gonna make you a better person, I think. It's gonna broaden your horizon.
To find out how you can join InterNations events happening all over Spain, click the link in the description. We hope you enjoyed these international perspectives on living in this beautiful country. So what's the bottom line? Should you move here?
I would say you should do it. You just have to figure out how you're going to make money in Spain. Yeah, there will be paperwork and there will be some things that are a bit tricky to figure out. But at the end of the day, all of those things can be fixed quite easily, and they will get fixed, and then you live in a new place and you have a really exciting life, because moving to another country is, like I said, a really exciting thing to do.
Make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss our next video. See you next time.